Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Bible in 1 Year with the Preacher's Husband. Today we're going through Proverbs 7, 8, and 9. Tomorrow we're going to go through 10, 11, and 12. So let's dig in. We're going to start with Proverbs 7, and right off the bat, the first 5 verses seem very similar to Proverbs 6, verses 20 through 24-ish. It starts out in a very similar way, and it could be related, or it could just be leading up to verse 6, which is a story of seduction, which is my guess. In this story, let's talk about an inexperienced individual, young man. And by inexperienced, it means simple or gullible or someone who's naive. And essentially, there's this woman who has this hidden agenda, and she comes out dressed as a prostitute, and she basically gets the guy and says, "Come on, let's drink deeply of lovemaking until morning. Let's feast on each other's love. My husband isn't home." Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So she does seduce him, and it's mainly because she is persistently pleading with him over and over, and she lures him with her flattering talk. But what he doesn't know is that this can cost him his life. Then we're going to move on to chapter 8, Proverbs 8. This is about wisdom's appeal, how wisdom can be very appealing. In verses 1 through 3 here, wisdom's invitation is very public in broad daylight. Her appeal is spiritual, in contrast to the appeal of folly, which is tending to be sexual in this book. And her promise is of life and not of death, whereas folly is definitely death is what you're going to get out of folly. Verse 5 here, it says, "Learn to be shrewd, you who are inexperienced. Develop common sense, you who are foolish." Common sense, one of those things that's not very common in the world anymore. Then, of course, verse 10 and 11 stood out to me. It says, "Accept my instruction instead of silver, and knowledge rather than pure gold. For wisdom is better than jewels, and nothing desirable can equal it." We've seen this before, or a very similar verse before in earlier Proverbs. So, that being said again, it makes it very important that they are repeating things multiple times. You may want to take heed. Chapter 9, this is all about wisdom versus foolishness, the comparison of the two. In the previous chapter, when it was talking, or actually in chapter 7, when it was the story of seduction, she basically appealed to the inexperienced and basically said to the inexperienced to come here. I saw the inexperienced. I noticed among the youth. She was calling out to the inexperienced, but now wisdom is also calling out to the inexperienced here in chapter 9, verse 4. It says, "Whoever is inexperienced, enter here. To the one who lacks sense, she says, come, eat my bread and drink the wine I have mixed. Leave inexperience behind, and you will live." The difference here is you will live. You're still going to be drinking the wine that she has mixed, but what she has mixed is a positive thing, something that's going to grant you wisdom and knowledge and understanding of life, not something that is sexual, but something that is spiritual. That's the difference here. The persuasion is different as well. Leaving experience behind and you will live. Pursue the way of understanding. Verse 10 stood out to me as well. "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding." The more you know about God, the wiser you're going to be. That's the way I see it. And then 13 through 18, this whole section stuck out to me. It says, "Folly is a rowdy woman. She is gullible and knows nothing. She sits by the doorway of her house on a seat at the highest point of the city, calling to those who pass by, who go straight ahead on their paths. Whoever is inexperienced, enter here." Didn't we just hear that a minute ago? Whoever is inexperienced, enter here. Verse 4 is the exact same thing as verse 16. "To the one who lacks sense, she says." Stolen water is sweet, and bread eaten secretly is tasty. You notice the difference there. Wisdom says, "Come, eat my bread and drink the wine I have mixed." But she says, "Stolen water is sweet, and bread eaten secretly is tasty." That's what Folly says. But he doesn't know that the departed spirits are there, that her guests are in the depths of Sheol. It only leads to death. Well, I hope this has touched you. If it has, click the like button and the subscribe button, and of course click the little jingle bell so you can get notified the next time I upload a video, which will be tomorrow. So we'll see you then for another episode of the Bible in 1 year with the Preacher's Husband. Peace.